Welcome back. This morning, we're waiting to find out when former President Donald Trump will have his first appearance in front of a judge.
He's been indicted by a Manhattan grand jury in connection with an investigation into alleged hush money payments. We're joined this morning by legal analyst Barry Covert to discuss what happens next. Barry, good morning. As a criminal defense attorney, you, I know, talk with prosecutors a lot about situations like this. What kind of conversations might be happening right now between the prosecutors in the Manhattan DA's office and Donald Trump's attorneys?
The talks about negotiating some resolution are long since over, I would expect. At this point, the discussions are simply about how to process, which means to print him, photograph him, where to do that. That's a normal course of an action now. And then where to arraign him and when and at what time. We've heard through leaks that perhaps it's going to be this upcoming Tuesday. You would ask for a copy of the indictment. If it has not been unsealed, then the prosecution probably won't give that to them. They may tell them verbally exactly what charges were indicted on. And then you just make arrangements to have the arraignment occur as quietly as possible, which is just not possible here. He's going to be surrounded by Secret Service. There's a presumption under our Constitution of public courtrooms. So we'll have him get arraigned. And then you're going to talk about turning over the discovery materials, which, as of the Bail Reform Act of 2020, is very robust. His attorneys now have the right to all documentary evidence, a list of all the possible witnesses, all the relevant people to these proceedings. There's going to be a tremendous amount of information that is exchanged between the prosecution and the defense in the upcoming weeks and months. Then when they're in court, they'll set up a calendar for the turning over the discovery, and then when motions have to be filed with the court, and there will be very robust motions filed by the defense, you can expect for numerous reasons, including executive privilege.
Barry, this is obviously a very lengthy situation. What do you think the odds are that this will wrap up by the end of 2024?
The court may try to set a schedule that does wrap this up by the end of 2024. That's a viable schedule. The court will try to set a tight schedule, a reasonable schedule, but that's fairly tight that the court will expect may get extended numerous times if there are issues with respect to discovery being turned over, maybe the defense in the future not being satisfied with the discovery that was turned over, needing additional time to file motions such as suppression motions, motions relating to executive privilege, if there are any issues in relation to the discovery that was turned over, and then try to set a trial. But by the end of 2024, that would be a realistic time frame.
With that presidential election, of course, set for November of that year. Barry, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
6:49, let's start your morning.